Welcome back to Emirates 24/7. Transparency is a major challenge in the charity field, with many charitable organizations absorbing up to 60% of their funding towards operating costs before any money is put towards those most in need.
So how do you make sure that your donations are reaching the right people? Well, one company, Mobile Aid, promises that 100% of your donations will go directly towards projects and the needy themselves, harnessing the power of mobile technology.
So how does it all work? And can you ever really promise 100% in the charitable field? Well, joining us now to tell us more is Tariq Qureishy, the CEO of Vantage Holding and the founder of Mobile Aid. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Katie. Good to be here.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So tell me a little bit about Mobile Aid and this concept of 100%. How does it work?
Mobile Aid is essentially basically disrupting how philanthropy and charity works into the future. It's bringing charity into the 21st century. We are creating mobile platforms and technology platforms. We're embracing the digital space. We're looking for some new donors because the top 10% is basically looking after the bottom 20–30% they need that money. There's a lot of donation fatigue at the top. So we're actually going down that triangle and looking at people in the middle. That's what Mobile Aid is doing, is fundamentally shifting that. Now your question about 100%, I think that is really the key, because for me it was about making a bold decision to have a new paradigm. And the new paradigm here really is that if you give me $100 or 100 dirhams, you give it to me as amana, as money held in trust. So even if I take 1%, one fill out of that, I'm actually breaking that trust. So at best, the organizations are either lazy or unimaginative. At worst, they are actually almost criminal in the way that a lot of waste has gone through. So what we are doing is harnessing all of that and basically saying, we will draw the line in the sand and it will now be 100%. Now, how do we do it?
I guess that's exactly what I wanted to ask. How on earth do you do it when you do have operating costs and other things like that?
Absolutely. And I think that is our existing paradigm, that's our existing training, and that's why we almost immediately asked that question. So when you were setting up Google or Facebook or Twitter, didn't people ask you, well, how much are you going to charge? And their whole philosophy is nothing. And they'll build business models around that, as opposed to charging for the communication itself. Our philosophy is exactly the same, that the donation itself is untouchable.
But does that mean you'd go into ads or something, for example, to
raise
raise revenue?
Absolutely.
Or how does it work exactly?
We could create a platform. We could create technology platforms. Take a program like the American Idol. They probably make $100 to $200 million just on the texting. But similarly, simultaneously, they also make hundreds of millions of dollars on merchandising, sponsorships, ticketing, and all the other good things. What we are saying is, if you're sending in $100 million worth of donations, 100% of that will go away, and we can make money on the other side, and that will absorb all the costs. So effectively, we'll create projects and plans that absorb all the costs, and that's how businesses are run. I'm a business person primarily, and that's what I do. So I'm using my business brain to come up with interesting new ideas of making this thing happen.
Now tell me about the mobile phone platform. I guess we're all becoming a lot more mobile. Smartphone use is certainly off the charts. Why was that the natural next step for you?
There's several reasons. The first reason is that up to 90% of the people in the developing world and the youth population, the new donors that we are looking for, they are all mobile savvy. So that's the first thing. You go to Africa, you go to India, people won't have clothes to wear, but they'll have their mobile phones. Kenya have M-Pesa, and that is how they are using to communicate and to even transact money and financials. So with that in place and all the tablets that are available, what telecoms also have is an amazing billing system. Right down to 1/100th of a fill, you can actually calculate that and absorb that. So no physical money, nothing is happening. You just take the money, it sits in the telecoms company, it goes straight to the charity and to the cause that we are talking about. So therefore, we're taking out all of the intermediaries in between. And mobile phones can actually do that. And you just literally de-intermediate a lot of people in between, and that's how we can bring the costs down and make it much, much easier.
In terms of the telecoms companies, I guess across the developing world, developed world, have you seen interest in this platform? Is there some sort of willingness to participate?
Absolutely. I actually thought about this. I was amongst the pioneers in the world in 2003 and launched Mobile Aid in Dubai in October 2003. And at that time, it was post 9/11, and it was very difficult, and people were finding it difficult to adopt to this. And sadly, we had the tsunami, we had Hurricane Katrina, then Haiti, and now everybody is doing that. So behavior change is not an issue anymore. What is an issue is to create marketing platforms and create trust and transparency and make the project, the business model, absolutely bulletproof in terms of trust. Once you've done that, then people will actually send the money in.
You mentioned earlier the concept of donor fatigue, particularly with that upper 10%.
Yes.
That issue of trust, the issue of transparency.
Yes.
How big a challenge do you think it is right now, especially when we're looking at 50, 60% sometimes not going where you think it is?
Absolutely.
How much of a challenge do you think
it is? Massive. I think it's the single largest challenge for donor apathy. People are becoming cynical and people are falling out of the habit of donating. Now, the whole philosophy of mobile aid is micro donations. 10 cents, $1, 1 dirham, 10 dirhams. And we want to make it so small and less than the price of a cup of coffee. So you don't actually have to think about it. So it's not actually a donation. It's actually you are contributing as you go along. And therefore there is no fatigue. And you can be part of that. A lot of the programs that we are setting up in exactly this is to have content, to have technology that you engage with and enjoy while you're giving away that 5, 10 cents.
I wanted to as well touch on the charity water organization
Yes.
we were recently sponsoring. They're also operating on a similar platform. Can you tell me a little about that?
Absolutely. When we put down the stake in the ground for 100%, we sort of said, let's go and find out who else is doing it. And there were very, very few organizations in the world, and Charity Water was one of them. So while we were doing our research, we found them sort of 6, 7, 8 months ago. As part of mobile aid, we have 3 basic pillars that we work on. The first one is health, mostly preventive health. The second one is education, mostly primary education and literacy, because over 2 billion people cannot read and write. And the third is empowerment and sort of micro donations, micro entrepreneurship, and so on. So these are the 3 pillars. With the health side, one of the most important things in the world today is actually water. 80% of disease in the developing world is water related, and 80% of that disease is preventable. So 64% of all disease is preventable today by just clean water. 800 million people are not getting it today. And up to 4,100 kids are dying every single day. Every single day. So I said to myself, shame on us that if we can't do something about it. So I put my business brain on and started moving. With Charity Water, they have a complete 100% transparency and 100% delivery to the front line, and they work on projects all over Africa, Asia, Latin America, and so on. And when we research them, even if somebody is giving money with a credit card, they take money from the other pot and actually give 100% of your donation in the front line. And they are building sustainable projects. And part of what Charity Water is doing, and Mobile Aid is supporting them and contributing to those platforms, is making sustainability sustainable.
Absolutely, making sure it's reachable for all of us in the end.
It's reachable for all of us, but it's recurring revenue streams. It's streams of money that keeps coming again and again. Because I hate, when we suddenly have a telethon because we have a hurricane.
Sure, of course.
And I'm just thinking, like, come on, guys, that shouldn't be the case. Now, if you can give away $1 here or 10 dirhams there or something like that, let's accumulate that.
It's about constant donations, constant
donation and constant participation. You could do it right at the bottom. Charity Water does it with kids, with children, with and donating a birthday. So kids start engaging with charity and with giving and with sharing.
Yeah.
Tariq, I love your passion. I'm sorry, we're actually out of time. I have to stop you there, but you're doing amazing work. Thank you very much for taking the time to share with us.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you.
Wish you all the best.
I
Thank
appreciate
you.
it.